Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. This is our Friday show, and I think the first day of fall is tomorrow. I'm just not sure officially when it gets started, but the 23rd being Saturday is the first day of the fall season. So today is the 22nd. We have high school football coming up later tonight, which we'll be telling you more about later in this program. Good to have you with us. I'm Mike Smith. Our producer off to my side here is Aaron Glandon. We talked about Aaron yesterday, and I think you'll actually get to see Aaron on Monday. I think Dan's going to pull him in since that's my morning off, and we'll get a chance to see what this handsome young man looks like. So all you single ladies out there, mark that down on your calendar. Let's take a look at our forecast for today. Another nice one, sunshine and a high of 82. If you're going out to the football games tonight, somewhere around kickoff, I think it's probably going to be in the upper to mid 70s. But then by games in at 10 o'clock, it looks like temperatures could be down in the low 60s, and then the overnight low drops down into the 50s. Looks dry for the weekend. Originally, they were talking about some rain on Sunday, but I think they've pushed that off till possibly later in the week next week. A lot to tell you about in our daily topics as well as sports and this date in history. All that coming up here on the Friday edition of Litter Media Live. I want to tell you about a great sponsor, Accurate Heating and Cooling, serving our community for 4 decades, taking care of all of your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Your trusted comfort advisor. Not only covered in the Scioto Valley, they're stretching their wings. They're going out into the Cincinnati area, Dayton, Columbus, if you're watching from those areas, and even points east. If you have any of these needs, give Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing a call. If you have a home or property cleanup project coming along, give Scioto Valley Dumpsters a call. They'll give you a free estimate on the phone. You need one of these big orange dumpsters, they'll bring it out to you. I think on one of my trips to Circleville here a few weeks ago, I passed one of their trucks hauling one of the dumpsters to a location. 253-8389. You see the ghost map in the background there. All of those contiguous counties to Ross is also in the area that they serve. Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a 6-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
At 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe, for all of your lawn and garden needs. Let's take a look at what's happening in our headlines for today. Yesterday, Dan had an interview with Melody Lebczynski Hatfield and Lieutenant Colonel retired Bob Leach talking about the creation of a military tribute museum that they're trying to get together here in the Chillicothe, Ross County area. Also in news today, the Ohio Power Siting Board has authorized Dixon Run Solar LLC to construct a 140 140-megawatt solar-powered electric generating facility. This is in Bloomfield Township in Jackson County. Now, this solar project will consist of large arrays of solar panels ground-mounted on a fixed-tilt rack system, as well as associated facilities including access roads, underground and overhead electric collection lines, weather stations, inverters, and transformers, a collection substation, and a 138 kilovolt generation interconnect electric transmission line. This will occupy approximately 2,000 acres of private leased land. Ohio Department of Natural Resources will begin their weekly fall foliage updates next Wednesday. Fall begins tomorrow, Saturday, but the early forecast is for central and southern Ohio to see the start of peak fall leaf color by mid to late October. Destination Downtown Lancaster will host their annual fall festival, Bark in the Park. That will be Saturday, September the 30th, a week from tomorrow, from noon until 6 p.m. Join them for downtown fall traditions. The Blessing Table will host a free community meal at the Bainbridge Senior Center September the 26th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. They'll have pizza, salad, and cookies to be served. Mark your calendars for the Greenfield Historical Society Annual History Day on October the 7th. They'll have pork loin sandwiches cooked by Chris Dodds, beans and ham, new exhibits, everything you wanted to know about the Dunlop Pony Farm, and more. There will be vendors with all sorts of items for sale. This will be at the Grain and Hay Building on Jefferson Street at the bridge on the east end of Greenfield. The depot will open in the tannery from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Just a reminder that Beth Jenkins of the Bainbridge Ghost Walk will be in with Dan Ramey on a special edition of Litter Media Live. That's at 3 o'clock this afternoon, so tune in for that. Let's get to our road report heading down into Pike County. Work for a resurfacing project on State Route 32 between Germany Road and the Jackson County line. At least one lane of traffic would maintain in each direction on State Route 32 throughout construction. Now, additional traffic impacts may include shoulder closures and narrowed shifted travel, and this project is going through this fall. And that is your topics for today. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports, all coming up on Litter Media Live.
Archway of Opportunities is a scholarship program. It can include the crew members and it can include managers. The scholarship is $2,500 for crew members and it's $3,000 for managers. For my store alone, we've had $35,000 go out just in 1 year. And for all 7 of our stores, we had $66,000 in scholarship funds.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Welcome back to Litter Media Live. A ton of stuff to talk about in sports, a lot of it local. And we start out with our game of the week on Litter Media Radio tonight. As the FAC gets league play underway, we'll be at Chillicothe, the Obadiah Harris Family Complex. They host the Hillsboro Indians. Our airtime with yours truly and Tom Beard at 6:50, but tune in a little bit earlier than that because you'll be able to hear our Thursday Facebook Live preview show that you heard yesterday, and you can go and see that at your leisure. But we always run that on Litter Media Radio before our 6:50 airtime. After struggling over the past couple of weeks, the Westfall Mustangs rallied when they needed for victories in both SVC boys golf matches number 7 and 8 yesterday to win the SVC League Championship at the Portsmouth Elks Club. The Mustangs fired a match 7 score of 174 based on the 5th best score tiebreaker, then improved to 171 in match number 8 to lift them to 59 team points and the conference championship. Runner-up Unioto lost their 1-point lead heading into the final day, placing 4th in match 7 with a 180 and 2nd in match 8 with a 173. However, for the 3rd year in a row, Unioto's Charlie Lewis is the SVC Player of the Year. Congratulations to Charlie on that great honor. Another golf championship last night. The Teays Valley Vikings claimed the Mid-State League Buckeye Boys Golf Championship at Denison Golf Club. They fired a .331 yesterday. Bloom Carroll was second at .350. Caden Sherman and James Bush of Teays Valley were co-medalists, along with Fairfield Union's Isaiah DeLong, all 3 of those shooting an 82. Turning over to volleyball last night, a milestone for this young lady, Leah McCloskey of Huntington, picking up her 1,000th career assist. That was in a 4-set win over Zane Trace. Another SVC action last night. Adena beat Southeastern in 4 sets. Unioto was a sweep winner over Westfall. Both of those teams at 7-1 in the conference, and they will play each other at Unioto for first place. That is on Tuesday night. We told you earlier in the week about the Chillicothe girls tennis team wrapping up the FAC championship. Well, last night they completed an undefeated FAC season at 8-0 with a 4-1 win over Hillsborough. Janet Disbennett, who's on the far right, the longtime head coach. Janet has 15 conference championships to her credit in her tennis coaching years. That's girls. She also was the boys coach one year when they won a conference title. Congratulations to Janet and all of the young ladies. Prospect League Board of Directors has voted to admit the Du Bois County Bombers of Huntingtonburg, Indiana, and the Full Count Rhythm, that's the name of the team, of Hendersonville, Tennessee, to the Prospect League for 2024. Now, the former Ohio Valley League teams will replace the West Virginia Miners, who sold to Du Bois County, and the Quincy Gems, who sold to Full Count. So if you hear that later in the baseball season, Full Count Rhythm, what are you talking? That's the name of the team. But there's an interesting story about how Full Count Rhythm started as a baseball club. You can find that on our website story at littermedia.com. Saturday Swing Showdown at the Chillicothe Country Club Golf. It's an 18-hole scramble, Saturday, September the 30th. Again, that's at Chillicothe JC's. Give them a call for more information on how to sign up. Let's take a look at what's coming this weekend in college football. The Ohio State Buckeyes at Notre Dame, and probably the showcase matchup of the day. The Buckeyes ranked number 6 in the nation, undefeated, and the Fighting Irish, undefeated, ranked number 9. You know, as long as these two heralded programs have been around over the century, this is like the 8th time, I think, only the 8th time that they've ever met face-to-face. And the Buckeyes, I think, are 5-2 against the Fighting Irish. But that will be on NBC tomorrow night with kickoff at 7:30. OU Bobcats open MAC play tomorrow at Bowling Green. That is a 3:30 kickoff for the Bobcats. Turning over to baseball last night, the Guardians, who were just trying to get through the end of the season. Now, they couldn't beat a team like Kansas City, who has 102 losses, but what do? They knock off the American League East first place Baltimore Orioles 5-2. Figure that out. The Reds were idle last night. They opened their final home series of the season for the regular season against the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Going into action tonight, the Reds are just a half a game out of the final wild card spot. So these remaining games, 8 of them, I believe, in total, will be big for the Redlegs. Pro football, the Browns are playing the Titans on Sunday. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff in Cleveland. Of course, the Browns trying to bounce back after that disappointing loss in Pittsburgh, and they have a new running back replacing, well, he's not really new to the Browns. He just wasn't with them on the roster this year, but they signed him to a 1-year deal. We're talking about Mr. Hunt, who was in the backfield with Mr. Chubb over the last few years. He has a one-year deal for $4 million, replacing the injured Nick Chubb. And the Bengals will be playing the Rams, I believe that's in Cincinnati, on Monday Night Football at 8:15. You're a Bengals fan, right, Aaron? You're not? Oh, my gosh. And they're undefeated, right? Is it the Commandos or Commanders? Dan and I were laughing when they came up with that name about the Commandos, but yeah, that's the story there. But I think they're wearing their all white, correct? The Bengals? Is that this coming Monday? Somebody published that, and then the Bengals Twitter site said, get your facts straight or something like that. So I'm hesitating to say they're definitely going to do that. But the question is, will Joe Burrow be playing or not? When we come back, we'll wrap up, as we always do, with this date in history, and we're talking the end of World War II. I mean, the war is over in Europe at this time, and we're talking about a key American general who was a figure in all of this on this date in 1945. All that coming up on Litter Media Live.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. When ensuring what's important to you, Andy Tomlinson and his associates are there when you need them the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit TomlinsonINS.com to learn more.
I want to give a shout out to some of the folks watching today. Your papa's watching you, Aaron, so behave yourself. Joe Glandon, longtime viewer Steve Lewis, who happens to be the grandpapa of Charlie Lewis, who is the SVC Golfer of the Year. Aunt Ruth, your grandmother, is watching. Rick Bethel, Pete Ruby. Steve Lewis weighed in twice. He says he likes our background scenery. So good to have all of you with us today here on Litter Media Live. This date in history, we take you back to 1945, one of the greatest generals of the Allied effort in Europe, but he was also a pretty controversial fellow. Well, that cost him his job on this date in 1945 as General George Patton tells reporters that he does not see the need for this denazification thing, quote unquote, and compares the controversy over Nazism to a, quote, Democratic and Republican election fight, unquote. Patton had many gifts, but diplomacy was not one of them. After the war, while stationed in Germany, he criticized the process of denazification, or the removal of former Nazi Party members from positions of political, administrative, and governmental power, likely out of naivete. Nevertheless, his press statements questioning the policy resulted in General Eisenhower removing him as U.S. commander in Bavaria. May not have, this kind of sounds like somebody else we've heard of in recent years. Maybe not the best with expressing how he feels, but man, could he lead an army as he actually, the movie Patton is pretty historically accurate, and this is one of the things that happens at the end of that movie where he loses that position. That's going to be a wrap for us today here on Litter Media Live. Don't forget to join us for our Litter Media Radio Game of the Week tonight, 6:50 airtime for Hillsboro at Chillicothe. Tom Beard will be joining me with a play-by-play call. Dan Ramey, also our producer Aaron Glenn, will be down on the field capturing video for the highlights package, which will come out next week. And all that also, you can tune in about 6:15 and hear our Thursday Facebook Live preview show, Rewind, and then that leads up to our 6:50 airtime. So until that time, for Dan Ramey, for our producer Aaron Glandon, this is Mike Smith. From all of us at Litter Media Live, have a great weekend, everybody, and see you on the radio tonight.